गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, Chapter title The Hamsa Goya Prayers. Text number 12. Tokanam pitaro bandhu drishyah paksham striyah pati patihi prajanam bhikshunam grahagyanam buddha surat. Tokanam pitaro bandhu drishyah paksham striyah pati patihi prajanam bhikshunam grahagyanam buddha surat. Tokanam pitaro bandhu drishyah paksham striyah pati pati prajanam bhikshunam graha agyanam buddha surat. Mata, what word meaning? What word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. What word meaning? Tokanam of children, Pitaro the two parents, Bandhu the friends, Drishya of the eye, Pakshma the eyelid, Striya of the woman, Pati the husband, Patihi the protector, Prajanam of the subjects, Bhikshunam of the beggars, Grihi the householder, Agyanam of the ignorant, Buddha the learned, Surat the friend. Translation. As the father and mother are the friends and maintainers of their children, as the eyelid is the protector of the eye, as the husband is the maintainer and protector of a woman, as the householder is the maintainer and protector of beggars, and as the learned is a friend of the ignorant, so the king is the protector and giver of life to all his subjects. The trees are also subject of the king. Therefore, they should be given protection. Purport. By the supreme will of the personality of Godhead, there are various protectors and maintainers for helpless living entities. The trees are also considered praja, subject of the king, and therefore the duty of the monarch is to protect even the trees, not to speak of others. The king is duty bound to protect the living entities in his kingdom. Thus, although the parents are directly responsible for the protection and maintenance of their children, the duty of the king is to see that all parents do their duty properly. Similarly, the king is also responsible for overseeing the other protectors mentioned in this verse. It may also be noted that the beggars who should be maintained by the householders are not professional beggars, but sannyasis and brahmanas. to whom the householder should supply food and clothing. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utar Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuvetam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Tamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Te Namale Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Parshata Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurti Vashe Nama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpataru Bhayasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavane Bhayo Vaishnave Bhayo Namo Nama Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktorinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. First of all, I am seeking the blessings of all the devotees, especially Rupa Goswami Prabhu and other many devotees are here to bless me so that I can speak on this subject, Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are continuing the topics, the Hamsa Goya prayer from the chapter, where we know the background of previous, how the situation is happening. So this verse is a continuation of yesterday verse only. So we will link some this verse from yesterday. So yesterday verse was that, just read the translation. The path of goodness traversed by your father, grandfather and great-grandfather is that of maintaining the subjects, prajas, including the men, animals and trees. That is a path you should follow. Unnecessary anger is contrary to your duties. Therefore, I request you to control your anger. So yesterday verse is explaining that Soma is telling to Prachetas that you are coming from the biggest ancestor. So what path they already followed, that path belongs in the path comes the mode of goodness. So you should also follow. What path they followed? They were nicely taking care of their subjects, praja. In that praja included, here is mentioned that men, animals and trees. So Soma is saying that you should also follow the same path. So otherwise, unnecessary anger is contrary to your duty. So therefore, you control your anger and follow that path. So today verse is explaining that how the king's duty is there. He take care of. There are various examples is mentioning that how the king should do his duties. As yesterday was explaining that he should follow that path, but how to follow that he is explaining today. How to take care of their prajas, like the examples are given. The father and mother are the friends and maintainers of their children. As the eyelid is the protector of the eye. As the husband is the maintainer and protector of woman. The householder is the maintainer and protector of beggar. And the learned is a friend of the ignorant. So these 5 things are mentioned here. So he's telling that you should also follow this, like you take care of their praja like this. As we know that the best way to take care of the children is the parents, they take care of their children nicely. So how? By making friendship and maintain. And the eyelid. This eyelid protect the eye very nicely. We have practically in our life, we see that how many times when we go in the bike driving, so many dust comes, and immediately the eyelid close the eye. So in this way, king should protect his praja. Same thing, husband is the maintainer and protector of woman, and the householder is the maintainer protector of beggar, and the learned is the friend of ignorant. So the king duty is to take care of their citizen in a very nicely way, in this way, where it is mentioned here. So in the purport, Prabhupada is very nicely highlighting one point that by the supreme will of the personality of Godhead, there are various protectors and maintainers for helpless living entities. So this sentence, we can understand that by the will of the Supreme Lord, everything is happening. So when we are taking care of someone, or when parents taking care of the children, all these things, so we understand that it is the Lord is doing everything. So in this way, we take care of this service nicely by understanding the responsibilities given by the Supreme Lord on the behalf of Supreme Lord doing. And simultaneously, we should not become attached by understanding that I am the doer, but understanding that the Lord is the only doer. So both way we can understand, not rejecting the responsibility given and not getting attached to the responsibility we are doing. So we'll going to see this section as a highlighting point of this responsibility. So 3 points we are going to see. First point is that while doing the responsibility, while engaging the responsibility, different difficult situations or difficulties comes. So how to still go on our duty. Second, by regularly exercising, exercise help us to maintain our body nicely. Similarly, regularly exercising ourselves, we will be nicely situated even though we are going through these different difficult challenges. And third is that, and what is a proper attitude by accepting this responsibility. So these 3 points we're going to see in this section. So here we know the responsibilities. And one of the lecture session in His Grace Anuttam Prabhu disciple, he was telling the definition of a responsibility. Many of you know that. He was saying that responsibility means ability to respond in a positive way in all the situations. So you are saying that whatever situation comes, we should have the ability to respond properly. So that is called as a responsibility. So because we know that we are living in such a place, material world, where everything is working under the modes. So we cannot, very difficult to be remain situated in one particular place. Like when someone is mode of goodness, so you have to struggle very lot to go ahead to remain, or because the mode of ignorance and mode of passion is always pulling down. So we cannot be remain in one place, but struggle will be always there. So the Bhagavatam gives the various examples how in the devotee's life. So when when the responsibility was given to them, so they also faces lot of difficulty challenges. Like Prachetas is going to take responsibilities, but the going through the tapasya which he has done, which they have done, is the part of that responsibility only. Jai Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai, Janat Baldev Sudha Marani ki jai, Gaunitai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So the tapasya they have done is a part of the responsibility. We cannot separate the going to the austerity or tapasya other than the responsibility. So the Prachetas, although they were completely seeing the Lord, or yesterday Sudhamanath Prabhu was explaining this question, they have got the darshan of the Lord Shiva, they have got the darshan of the Lord Narayan, they were nicely doing tapasya, still they got affected to this of anger. Similarly, we see the Dhruva Maharaj life also. Dhruva Maharaj, he got the darshan of the Lord. Still, at the time of, we know that how Yakshas, he also becomes so much angry. And many more examples are there. Priyavrat Maharaj, we can say, or Parikshit Maharaj, Yamunacharya. So all these examples are there. Of course, these examples in Bhagavatam are there for us to teach us lessons in their life. They are nicely protected by the Lord, as we see all these examples and nicely situated. So, but for us to understand the examples they have went through in their life. So, if by living in this material world, if they are facing so much difficult challenges, so what to speak of us? We also expect that the things will, difficult situation or problems will come in our life. But we should not be get carried away or distracted. We should be go on continuing our devotional service. Like otherwise, only focus remain on the difficulty situation problems. Then we not do our responsibility properly. Like this Guru Maharaj, Radhana Swami Maharaj give the example. If one is walking on the field, like as we know, then Govardhan Parikrama, when we are doing Govardhan Parikrama, so there are many thorns are there. So while walking, one of the thorn will enter into the feet, and then the whole where we before that we are nicely our mind prepared to do Parikrama, Govardhan Parikrama. So after that one thorn enter into our feet, then whole our consciousness will go into that thorn. So instead of focusing on nicely doing Parikrama in the Govardhan, our whole consciousness will be focused on that thorn. Similarly, when we are given these services or when given some responsibility, so while engaging in that responsibility, so difficult situations comes, but not be remain in that only and just focus on the challenges, but should take the positive things. So these are the, and many more examples are there where where we know that where the people were given these responsibilities, but they have not. We can see they have not taken in their life properly, and they just carried away. So these are the challenges one face while engaging in difficult situation. Second point is how by regularly exercising we can build our nice strength. Like in one of the book, some moral code was written there that every day at least one should do at least one thing in his life which help us to come out from his comfort zone. This is a nice sentence I just read, that at least one thing should be done, one thing in our every day in our life which help us to come out from our comfort zone. So sound okay. So okay, so when we are just taking some thing in our life which help us to come out from our comfort zone, then what happen? Then our we will nicely get habituated to go through this kind of situations. Like as we know that in the gym, when we go regularly exercising, then our muscles will be built. And then we will try to take, like in the gym, when you go, a person after exercising, he has to increase his weight to lift the weight more. So therefore, then it helps to build his muscles. Another example Prabhu give. What example Prabhu give that? There was one small child was there. So a newly born calf has taken birth. So the child is to carry that calf very nicely when he was very small calf. So every day he stood carry in his hand. So day after day he was carrying, and the child was calf was growing, and it become more grown up calf. So still the child was carrying him nicely in his hand. After some time, the calf has become more grown. It almost comes to the level of the bull. Still the child was, because he was having the practice of carrying the calf every day from then he was easily able to carry. But suddenly, if someone carry and then he cannot do that also. So similarly, we can understand that when we going through the difficult situation, challenges day after day, means not we remain in our own situation, we place in a comfort place, so that we actually what happened. Someone said that okay, if taking responsibility is so much giving difficult situation, better I will remain peaceful and practice Krishna consciousness nicely in my own way. But this will not also help us. Why this will not help us? Because this is not the way which Krishna wanted. Like for Arjuna, to going to forest and practice was very, very easy for him, because he was most of his life he was stayed in the forest. But for him, to difficult situation is to fight with his friends, relatives. So for him, that is the most difficult situation. But to going to forest and just to meditate, it was very easy. So therefore, we remain in our own place is also not very much, because this is not the way Krishna wanted, and we will not grow in our devotion service also. But accepting responsibilities, accepting difficult situation, challenges, it helps us to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. So therefore the practice has to be done very nicely. And the third, one more example was there, that like one devotee asked, one college boy in one of the lecture, he asked question to His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that when I was in my studies, when I was in college days in IIT, I was nicely able to focus on my in my studies, and I got good rank also in the IIT. Jai Shri Shri Radha Varnancha Gauranga Jagannath Baldeswara Maharani ki jai. When my college days, so I was nicely able to focus on my studies, and I got good rank also. But after coming in touch with devotees and practicing Krishna consciousness nicely, but after over a period of time, while practicing, it becomes so much rituals way, so that I am just coming and chanting my rounds, not able to focus or not able to hear attentively properly. So that it looks like that my mind is got so much distracted. So the Guru Maharaj replied, answer that. So as he told him that when you are in the IIT days, you are able to focus nicely, because you know the purpose, that why I come here first and the studies. So you are able to focus on that. But here the goal which is going to get Krishna Prem, so is far. So therefore you are not able to focus. But it helps us to how to go on consistently. He will give the example that we know the story of that this rabbit race and tortoise race. So rabbit race and tortoise race. Then he asks, who won the race? Then of course we know the story. The tortoise won. But the lesson teaching that if you remain if you practice in the mode of like a rabbit, he run very fast. But the problem for him that he will not remain situated. He just jump here, and go there. Nice, you tell him to remain in one place, he will not remain in the one place. So therefore to practice Krishna consciousness, it requires steadiness. And steadiness comes by regularly exercising. Not that 1 day, 2 days, like a rabbit, he was running very fast, very fast. So then he saw back. Then he saw that, oh, tortoise is not visible only. Let I just go in my comfort zone. So Maharaj gave a very nicely example that he was thinking that I will take nice rest, and when the tortoise will come, again I will make speed and will go ahead. So devotional service will not work like this. One day I will nicely practicing and I will nicely making chanting more round or whatever we are, and look like that I'm growing. Or another day something will happen, then we feel so much disturbed that for it look like a very difficult to practice. But devotion service is like a steadiness. Go regularly exercising, regularly. And so while going that, it's not that the path is very simple. So there are a lot of difficult comes, but the tortoise never gave up, or anytime is just thinking that, okay, it's very difficult for me. But this example teaches us the steadiness, even though difficult situation comes. But the other example of a rabbit is like a very not properly situated. So therefore, while regularly doing that, our muscles of Krishna consciousness will also increase. So now the third point is that a positive attitude of accepting responsibilities. So what is a positive attitude? We can learn from the Lord Brahma's life. It's such a nice section. How Brahma accepted the responsibilities in his life when the Lord has given to him responsibility of secondary creation, while doing the secondary creation. So the attitude Brahmaji has shown is very much important. So we'll see that. So Brahmaji is praying to the Lord. Actually, the title is given requesting to the Lord. So when Lord has given him seva, so he's praying to the Lord that please empower me. How he is to empower? Yes, he's saying that you are the full of all six opulences and the friend and maintainer samast jagatam surad. So he's glorifying that. Please empower with the introspection to create. So I am also like a surrender soul. So while approaching, he's approaching to the superior, that whoever has given the service. Here in the case of Brahma, directly Lord is given the same service. So we should understand that only when Lord will come, that time only I will accept. But here is saying the Lord in purport that everything is working under my direction. So we should be accept in a humble way to superior and seek blessing from them. Second point is saying that protect me from false ego. So that is very much important. Actually, this is the most famous verse is there. I just recite. The verse is there. Is 3.9.23. Esha prapanna vardo ramaya atma shaktya yad karishati grihiti gunavarta tasmin swavikramam idam srajato picheto yunjita karma samalam chayat chayatha vijayam. So he's saying that protect me from false ego. You are the benefactor of surrender soul. When I create this universe, endowed with your power, I wish not to be materially affected by my work and able to give up the false prestige of being the creator. The same thing, when I'm doing the services, I should not become too much conscious of the service only, that I will forget my what is the purpose actual, that I will forget and just remain to the focus on the service only. So here is saying that at the beginning we saw that that we should not be attached and simultaneously we should not be detached. So it's same thing. He's saying that I should not consider myself as a doer. So therefore, please protect me when I fall on these situations. And third one is saying that save me from deviation. Deviation means while engaged in the service or taking responsibilities, we may be sometime thinking that like we know that we will not go the way according to the superior wants, and we try to do it our own way. So save me from deviation. In the course of manifesting your diverse energy in the form of cosmic manifestation, may I not be deviated from the vibration of Vedic hymns. Ma Rishata Nigamasya Giram Visarga. So these three way, Brahmaji is telling that please, when I am taking responsibility, please protect me from, empower me first, then protect me from the false ego, and then protect me from the getting deviation also. And then he's praying to the Lord, please wake up. The wake up Lord's actually is nicely singing prayer, where every day Pujari, when go for waking up the Lord, they sing this prayer, very famous prayer. So asavadabaro karuno bhagwan vrida prema smitena nanam varam vijrapan uthaya vishwa vijaya chano vishadam madhya garapanitat purusha purana. May the Lord, who is the supreme, the oldest and unlimited, merciful, smilingly bestow his benediction by opening his lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and dispel my sorrow by speaking his sweet direction. So, after going all this prayerful mood, then he is praying to the Lord, please bestow all this thing and be merciful to me. So this is a prayer, and how the Lord is reciprocating, we'll also see that. Before that, they have prayed as far as the mind and words would permit him. Brahma became silent and is tired from the activity of penance, knowledge, and meditation. So prayers is so much important. Like as Brahma, I was hearing one of the class of Isolini Radhan Swami Maharaj. He was saying that actually devotee should be always in the mood of prayerful. Actually, when we see that the holy name itself is one of the prayer to beg service from the divine couple. So therefore, the devotee should always very in the mood of prayers. So whatever situations in our life, we should always beg that please help me so that I can be nicely practice Krishna consciousness. So then the Supreme Lord replied to Brahma, do not be anxious or depressed about the execution of creation. What you are begging is already been granted. So then he is saying benediction, Tapa and Vidya give Ashray. So when one is doing tapasya and is having the knowledge, by situating yourself in penance and knowledge, you will receive my favor and thus understand from within your heart everything regarding the position of pleasure. So here Brahmaji is praying to the Lord that, my dear Lord, I have given this service to create. So while creating, so many things will come. It's not that the service only go away very nicely, very nicely in the way we want. But difficult situation will come. So please protect me from that service, and I will be nicely situated. Take this Krishna consciousness. So therefore, this kind of attitude, what Brahmaji has shown, the attitude of prayerful mood or humility or not taking credit of oneself as a doer or enviousness nature. So when we have this attitude while taking the responsibility, then we find the shelter of the superior or find the shelter of the Krishna. So therefore, as it goes very ahead also, I just take this point only. Okay, I will take the last point. So at the end, Lord is saying that I am pleased by your description of me as the possessor of transcendent qualities. So as I am the Lord of all benediction, I will fulfill all desire of one who pray regularly like you and thus worship me. So when one is regularly praying to the Lord, like he is telling to the Brahmaji, when one is regularly praying, then I will fulfill all their desires. So therefore, when one goes to take the responsibilities, as we discussed, saw yesterday, how Atmaram Gaurang Prabhu is nicely telling that when the devotees accept what is coming from the lineage, and taking that and he go on practicing nicely, then it will help us to uh, become more and more nicely situated. Otherwise, if we have just on counter opposite things, then very difficult to face all the challenges. So here one more Prabhu is mentioning there that the king, here saying that the king is a duty bound to protect the living entities in his kingdom. Thus, although the parents are directly responsible for the protection and maintenance of their children, the duty of king is to see that all parents do their duty properly. Similarly, the king is also responsible for overseeing the other protector mentioned in this verse. So here the Prabhu is mentioning the king's duty, but this duty can be applied to all the person, those who are there dependent on for them or the subjects under them, to whom they are nicely taking care. Like the as we see that from the children only, when they were a child, when they see the parents in their life, how the parents are nicely situated, nicely practicing Krishna consciousness, or when they see that the parents are not properly dealing with each other, then they will learn from them, like that only. Like we see the life of Srila Prabhupada. When Prabhupada said, when I was very small child, so as soon as I get up, I see that my parents are worshipping the Supreme Lord. So in this way, Prabhupada, throughout his life, he had applied that culture. So same thing is that either parents taking care of the children or the brahmacharis, they are taking care of the to whom they are guiding, or even no, one is not doing anything but still living is a devotee. Devotee practicing itself is one of the one of the way to teach others that how devotional service is so nice. So one may be thinking that, oh, I am not doing any response, means like this kind of responsibility where I have some dependent or to whom I am taking care. But when we live the life of a sadhu or monk, then we should understand that all the people they are watching. So I'm just representing Krishna. So therefore, my duty is to set the nice example. So therefore, when the parents they set nice example for their children, then the children they nicely make advancement in Krishna consciousness. Similarly, when the brahmacharis or when the preacher, the same way, here the king's responsibility is given. Other thing is like more thing is there. It should be noted that the king is also responsible for overseeing other protectors. What are the other protectors mentioned here? That the learned is a friend of ignorant. Like we see the contrary nature in this material world. That how the learned person they boast themselves so much that I have this knowledge, I have that knowledge. But here the Vedic culture is such a way that Vedic culture is teaching that one should not be proud of their achievements. On the contrary, that one should be whatever one is best in that, he will help others to get that thing also. Like Prabhupada once he told to Yamuna Mataji. Yamuna Mataji was very good cook. She cooks so nicely. Everyone likes his cooking. So Prabhupada told to Yamuna Mataji, Yamuna, if you are not teaching others to how to cook nicely, then what happen? There is a chance that we will become proud. So therefore, we should be having good nature, this of helping others. So as a learned, here Vedic life, as we saying that when someone is very learned, he should help to the person who is illiterate or ignorant, or we can say that the devotees, they help to other devotees, those who so that he also be nicely situated with Krishna consciousness. So these are the more examples is given. As a householder is the maintainer and protector of the beggar. And so of course Prabhupada is mentioning here that beggar does not mean professional beggars, as we see in the street, but beggars means the brahmacharis, brahmanas and sannyasis. Of course, brahmacharis also, they are also beggar. So the householder, they take care of them nicely. So actually, when we see that how the Lord's arrangement is that there are some person is there, those who are provide the facilities to take care of the person who are very weak in that. So and the weakest, the person, those are very weak in that situation, they have got the shelter of them. So when a person who is giving shelter, he understands that I am doing this on behalf of the Supreme Lord, then for him also getting blessings. So actually Vedic culture teaches us that how one should be more and more in the mood of accept more and more blessings. Not only the blessings from those who are the like superior, there should be we take blessing from them, but we should take blessing even from the person, those who are like even not more as much superior. By helping or by in whatever way situation Krishna is giving us service, we should help them to serve nicely. In this way, then we'll get the more mercy of them. So, okay. Is more prayers are there, but whatever the more discussion was there, I just completed. I'll end here only. If someone has any questions or anything, then he can.
When thank you very much for this nice class. You said that we should give up our doership mentality. You made a point this. So Prabhuji, when things are going in, when things go out of my control and I try to control it, and when it goes out of control, then it becomes easy to understand I am not the doer. But when things are in my control and I am able to control it, so how to give up doership mentality at that time?
Yeah, what you spoke is true. When some situation comes where we get failed, so we can easily understand that, oh, I'm not the doer. But when the situation comes, we'll achieve more and more. So then very difficult to accept that really I'm not the doer. Only that time we consider that I am the only doer. So because of my talents, my skills, my knowledge, I can do so many things. So that is true. But we should understand that actually, like Prabhupada's tell, this pastime of Tamal Krishna Maharaj, favorite, we know that everyone know this point, that when Tamal Krishna Maharaj called to Prabhupada, Prabhupada called to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. That time, Prabhupada was saying that this entire this creation, so many universes are there. And slowly he came down. We are understand that in one of the temple and one of the city, one president is there, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and he's considering, I am taking care of all the universe. So having the association of devotees, having the proper understanding of philosophically, reading Prabhupada books, when we understand that actually before coming to Krishna consciousness, what life I was living. There was nothing, something I was having. But after practicing Krishna consciousness and after associating with devotees, Krishna is giving me so much facilities so that I can better engage in that facility in the doing more and more services, render more and more service, and helps others also. So when we are like in that mood, then what happen? Will not become proud that really I am the doer. So therefore, we should be having the association of superiors or and following their directions and the shastras, then we will come out from this doership mentality. So otherwise, very difficult to understand that, to come out from the situation that I am the doer. Okay. Anything else? So we'll end here only. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai, Shri Prabhupada.